What's happening, guys? Just off to the shops, and thought I'd just introduce my new video. It's about light trails, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Ladies and gents, what we're going to be talking about this evening then is long exposures, but in particular light trails. Okay, so what are light trails? Basically, if you've seen pictures like this and this, that's probably the easiest way to explain it. Okay, light trails could be trains, planes, bikes, basically all vehicle lights. Okay. How does it happen then? So, in your camera, okay, if you've got a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, okay, you've got a shutter, okay. As the shutter opens, okay, light is introduced onto the sensor. Okay, when you hear a normal camera, your everyday, like that, that is what happens when the sensor goes, or when the shutter opens up really fast, okay. So what you can do with a DSLR, and an SLR and a mirrorless camera is you can hold the shutter open for any given amount of time that you choose. The advantage of this then is if you're in a low light situation like this with no light at all, apart from the artificial light that's lighting me up, okay, what can happen then is any light that you introduce onto the sensor, okay, is going to create your picture. So you can create art in theory with light. Okay, so with light trails in particular then, I focus quite a lot on composition. Composition for me is probably the most important part, because when you're using light, okay, you have to position the cameras perfectly to get the correct composition. Okay, so for this composition then, I've chosen the area with the barriers, okay, and I'm using my own car for demonstration purposes, and it was going to come round, go round, come past me, go off into the distance. The reason why I've chosen this particular area then is because you can see the light being introduced from right to left into the frame, and it will curve round. You'll see the tail lights go off into the distance. The camera I'm using then is the Nikon D5 because it's great for low light, and the lens I'm using is a 14 to 24 wide angle to try and get as much as I can in. I've got it quite high on a tripod. Reason for that being, so that when it's higher than the car and higher than the tail lights, you should just be able to see the tail lights go off into the distance and that they don't merge in together. Okay, speaking of tail lights then, when I do this, I particularly like to just capture tail lights within the image. Okay, if you're on a long straight road with images like this, for instance, and oncoming vehicles coming towards the camera, then it'll be a total whiteout and it'll just ruin the image. Top tip then, for that reason, okay, use a cable release so that you can choose when the camera comes on and when the camera comes off. Ideal settings then for this, okay, I've got it on 30 seconds at f8 to keep it nice and sharp, okay, and ISO 400 to try and capture some of the ambient when it goes past the tree off to the side. Ideally, if you're not doing it for demonstration purposes, okay, I would use a cable release and use bulb mode. What this does then is you can hold the sensor open for as long or as little as you'd like. This is great for when cars come in, say, as I said before, okay, if a car comes over the brow of the hill on the long straight road and introduces light into your sensor, you can just flick it straight off and turn the camera off so that you've captured the image that you want. Okay, we're going to see a demonstration now. Okay, just going to drive the car past and off into the distance, and then I'll show you the image afterwards. Okay, as you can see then, as the car drives past, it creates nice leading lines from right to left. The tail lights drive off, okay, off into the distance and around the corner. And this is what the image looks like. Okay, I've tweaked a couple of things in post-production, just lifted the shadows, lowered the highlights so it makes the tail lights nice and crisp. Okay, add a little bit of clarity, okay, and a little bit of contrast. Nothing much. Okay, it's just trial and error. It'd be great to see some of your images below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you in the next video.